Hello everyone. We shall discuss about some simple equations today. You know that what is an equation? Equations are generally used to represent data. Suppose if we want to express your age and compare your age with others, we make use of equations. And also, if we need to express the dimensions of some quadrilateral or a rectangle or some polygons, we make use of equations. So, equations are generally used to represent data very simply and a very simple method. So, today's class is about some equations and those are linear equations. Previously, we have learned about linear equations in one variable. Linear equations in one variable means those equations which has one variable only. Today's class is about linear equations in two variables. Here we will solve the equations and how will we get the solutions for those equations. Let's remember what are linear equations in one variable, which we have studied in our previous class, that means in 8th standard. Actually, linear equations are those equations which has a variable and the degree will be 1. So let's remember what are linear equations in one variable. Suppose if I write 5x is equal to 0, this is a linear equation in one variable. That means here we have a constant, that means coefficient of x, which is 5, and also one variable, that is x. And if you write 6y, it's also a linear equation in one variable. If you write 6y is equal to 6, then we will get the value of y as 6 by 6. Here we will get x as 0, means 0 by 5. These are linear equations in one variable. And coming to linear equation in two variables, what's the main difference? The main difference is that those equations which has two variables are known as linear equations in two variables. So let's study about linear equations in two variables. See, when an equation has two variables, both of degree 1, then that equation is known as linear equation in two variables. Just read this point. When an equation has two variables, it has two variables. Either it will be x or y, p or q, z or some value w, or let it be like that. Any two variables and which has degree 1. That means both of the variable will be having degree 1. Then that equation is known as linear equation in two variables. Let us write the standard form of linear equation in two variables. Here, this is the standard form of linear equation in two variables, which is given by ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, where a is the coefficient of x and b is the coefficient of y and c is the constant. And we got a, b and c are real numbers. That means they belongs to real number set. They should be real numbers. And also a comma b, that means the coefficient of the variable x and y is not equal to 0. That means when it is equal to 0, these two terms will not be there, right? So, equation will not be there. That means a comma b not equal to 0. So, we can write a linear equation in two variables as ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, provided a, b, c belongs to real number set. That is, they are real numbers. C is a constant, a and b are the coefficient of x and y respectively. So, this is the general form of a linear equation. And what do you mean by a linear equation? It's an equation which has two variables, both of degree 1. Then that equation is known as linear equation in two variables. Now we have two equations. These are examples of linear equation in two variables. We have different variables in these questions, in these examples, right? We have x and y as a variable in this first example, and here it's another two variables, which means p and q. Here we can use either Z or Q, any variables, any two different variables which both has degree 1. That's an important thing. What do you mean by degree? Degree is the maximum power, right? See here, x has power 1 and y has power 1. That means it is a degree, which we have studied in polynomials and all, right? So this is degree 1 and these are the examples of linear equations. Here we got 7 as A. That means 7 instead of A, we put 7. And what is it? It's negative 7. That means A is equal to negative 7. And what about B? B is a coefficient of Y. That means B has got its value 1. And what about C? It's not like the general form, right? It's something equal to 0. It's something equal to something, right? So we have to make it 0. So take this 8 to this side and you will get C as minus 8. So we got A as negative 7, B as 1 and C as minus 8. Now coming to this one, we have two variables P and Q. And here A is 2 and B is negative 5 and C here is 2. So this is the general form of a linear equation. Let us compare this equation with the general form and we can extract the values of A, B and